In Ecology Without Nature, Timothy Morton argues that the idea of nature with a capital N is problematic because it enforces a division between humans and the environment. Rather than seeing nature as a distant something, Morton proposes that we recognize the mesh or entanglement between humans and the non human world. Welcome to my podcast. My name is Miriam Garcia, and for my Ecology Without Nature project, I want to explore this mesh through the lens of movement and borders. My inspiration comes from our friends who work at the dairy farms in the Upper Valley whose labor is linked to the land. Morton's proposed mesh can help us see how labor enriches the entanglement between humans and the environment. The immigrant farm workers' presence and movement, which sustains the Vermont dairy industry, do not remove them from nature but rather deepen their entanglement with it. Their movement across the land, such as driving tractors and shifting between barns, creates a system of dependence between themselves, the animals, the machines, and the economy. With long workdays in the rural Upper Valley, these farm workers make the most of what they have. One of my friends, Don Paco, has explained to me that although he is alone in a human sense, he is not truly alone because he always has the cows. His relationship with the cows blurs divisions of hierarchy, wherein he does not see them only as animals to extract from, but as fellow workers, bound by the same structures of confinement. The cows, too, are laborers who are forced to work under industrialized conditions and confined to their enclosures. If we consider how laborers and nature become entangled through movement, then both become subjected to the same mechanisms of control and confinement. Under capitalism, this entanglement does not lead to appreciable ecological unity, but rather to intensified exploitation. Borders serve to regulate and surveil bodies just as enclosures dictate the use of land. Thus, the same policies that restrict human movement, such as immigration laws and surveillance systems, are the ones that extract from and commodify nature. Movement in this context is controlled, restricted, and commodified, especially now under the Trump administration's intensified customs and border patrol checkpoints. Our friends on the farm are not only confined by their labor but by the threat of state surveillance. To leave the farm is to risk being detained, deported, and criminalized. In this sense, they become a part of nature. Not in the romantic sense of ecological unity, but in the way that capitalism treats nature as something to extract from, control, and regulate. Under capitalism, we must acknowledge that laborers and nature are meshed and ask ourselves who gets to move freely and who is forced to stay, who benefits from this entanglement and who is trapped in it. Although I don't have instant solutions to these problems, I offer hope that this exploitative mesh can be reworked, resisted, and reclaimed by the very ones that live within it. I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and I'll see you next time.